I am from Kenya, and I am into the agricultural field in Kenya, and I have been working with the different corporations and companies. But one of the biggest things and the biggest issues that I have noted is that the youths are people who can really bring a lot of change into our community. I was in a meeting for agriculture in Nairobi, and one of the main things that were being talked about is what about if we give the youths a chance to do something? For example, if we are talking about the farms, majority of us, for example, here in Kenya, you find that the farms are owned by the parents. So it's only the parents who are going to farm the farms. So what about if you incorporate a youth and the youths come and start doing? So some of them started doing it, and they found that there is higher productivity from the farms because the youths have a new way of doing these things that have also been incorporated with the modern way of doing these things. So it is a very big honor to join this dialogue, and we are looking ahead to this G20 summit. Um, Every day I see Ubuntu in mission, farmers pulling their efforts, youth leading innovations from different areas, communities helping each other, and that is the spirit that we want. That is Ubuntu, because I am here because we are. Um, Generally, this is how Africa survives and grows and leads others. So what I can say is that as Africans, as we prepare for the G20, we must ask ourselves a few questions. So one of the biggest questions that we can ask ourselves is, what does this presidency mean for ordinary Africans? And will it bring a tangible change? And this tangible change involves jobs, fair trade, and also the climate action. Or will it just be another conversation where Africa is seen and at the end of it all it is not hard? Um, the other question that we can ask ourselves is that can Ubuntu reshape how the world does politics and trends? So if the world embraced Ubuntu, we wouldn't be talking about donors and recipients. My colleague who has just talked has said that has talked about people doing projects, but they are going to be here for just a small time frame, and then after that they are gone. So what happens to our youths? They are left here unemployed. They are left here without anything to do. The projects have gone, and they maybe don't have that capacity to start their own projects. So we will be talking about these donors and recipients if we don't change the way we think. Now we'll be talking about partners. If we were to have embraced Ubuntu, we should be talking about partnering, not just bringing something that is going to be temporary. Um, so how do we see this trade and collaboration? We see it as a good thing, but not an extraction, whereby you are just getting the ideas and then you are gone. Um, we also value dignity as much as data, as much as data, and also we value people more as much as profit. Now, the other question that we should be asking ourselves is, and what should we expect as Africans, or what should Africa expect from us? Should we expect, what do we expect on the part of debts? What do we expect from the part of climate? And what do we expect from the part of critical minerals? Because we can see what is going on with the minerals. Actually, for example, if I might give an example in Kenya, we are doing mining, we are doing this and this, but after we mine, what else? What conversation goes after now? For example, we have identified something. How is it going to help us? So we want to talk about this more. We must demand fair financing. and also technology transfer, and there should be a very real value addition here at home. Any country, any African country that you are, there should be a real value addition anywhere that you are. Uh, our minerals should not leave African raw. In Kenya, when I'm not talking about minerals, in Kenya we do tea plantations. We plant tea, we plant coffee, but it is not refined in Kenya. So what is the reason why it is not refined in Kenya? And is it that we cannot be able to refine it here in Kenya? It means that there is a problem. There is a value addition that is required to us. And I think a lot of these things can be implemented by the use of the strong and energetic youth. Now, what should we do? We should make sure that everything is a finished product, and through making sure that these things, minerals and the other thing, the cash crops, as much as we are planting them, we should make sure that they create jobs and also build a different industry. Another very important question as I come to conclude to a conclusion of this presentation: how do women and youth fit in this story? How do they fit in this story? So you find that in every village that we move, because we usually move in our agricultural and in other things, you find that it is women and young people who are driving these innovations. So from the new planting methods, the community saving groups, their energy is a big energy that can be really be utilized because they are interested. That is the most important thing. They are interested. We have a changing landscape, and they are creative, and they are able to know that this is the direction that we need to go. This is the direction that we should invest. Now, they must shape the agenda, and they should not only benefit from it. Um, what are my hopes and concerns regarding African's position? So my greatest hope is that Africa is finally awakening to its own power. We have a lot of power, and not as a continent waiting to be saved, but as a continent that is very much ready to lead, not just in the minerals that we are producing, the cash crops that we are growing and exporting to other people, but in the people and culture and creativity and the resilience. We have around 6% of the world's arable land. We have very big lands that are able to do a lot of things, and the youngest population on earth. That's not weakness. That's a leverage that we need to work on. The biggest concern that the world still engages Africa from is the mindset, not equity. So you find that our leaders move to global meetings from Africa to receive, not to negotiate. So when they come back, they are saying, like, for example, we visited China, and this is what we said, that they are going to help us with this. They are going to help us with this. So is it a story of always being helped, or is it a story of how we can how we can negotiate and come up with something that is going to be long lasting? Our voice is still treated as a background noise and in decisions that can really shape up our futures. So from climate finance to the trade policy, and you find that if we are not very careful, Africa could host the G20 but still be remaining on the sidelines. So we have a common phrase that we use that we say is that it is promise to action, not action that changes and turns back to and that turns us to a promise. So we need to work on making the promises be actions. Now we have to refine our engagements and speak in one voice and align our policies and assert our priorities. Africa must move from being just a player, but being an influencer and being in the inside of everything. And this one can only be done that if we work on the youths and the women, because these are the people who are going to drive the real change. So yes, I believe the spirit of Ubuntu can turn the 2025 G20 summit into real gains for Africa if we lead with clarity, unity, and courage. So what I can encourage you is that let us show that the Africa's time is not coming. It is not coming. It is already here with us, and we have to leverage on that. And it begins when we see ourselves not as beneficiaries, but as people or as architects of it. Thank you very much.